Welcome back, my friends. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to my channel, I am known as the Fairy Haven Keeper. My channel's all about making art, infusing wonder, doing DIYs. Sometimes I shop, sometimes I promote some products. I hope that my content is fun for you and that you like it. And please, if you like it, do all the things. Hit subscribe, share, whatever. And if you're a creator, I'd love to check out your channel and share and like back. So I want to tell you about this video that I created. It's a project with a 3D sculpted ghost made out of fabric. And it's part of my Summeween project. I just love Halloween. Halloween's one of my favorite holidays, and I've really got into the ghost trend. I really like all the cute cottagecore ghosts and all the sweet little things that are going around. So I made some tutorial videos that show you how to make some simple projects with stuff that you might have around your house. So let's get started. And here's the first tutorial. It's my glamour ghost. Now, out on my table, these are some items that you'll need or can use for this project. You'll definitely need some Mod Podge glue, shiny or matte, whatever you prefer. Hot glue and sticks, E6000 glue. You're going to need some wire, ribbons, black watercolor paint, a black picture frame, 8x10, or smaller or bigger, a velvet pumpkin, 1 inch or a little bigger, a Sharpie marker, a black velvet ribbon, some good scissors for cutting fabric, and then also some cotton or sequin fabric for your ghost. You're also going to need a background, which I am placing here. And you're going to want to glue that down with some Mod Podge and set aside to dry. You may want to do this in sections because the Mod Podge kind of gets tacky pretty quick. And if you don't do the edges really well, you have to kind of repeat it, which is kind of silly. So here I am doing that now, and I've sped up parts of my video just to make it not be so long for you, and you can always pause in between the steps if you need to do that. I'm pressing it down onto the back part of the frame now, and I'm just going to replace that back in the frame. The piece of glass that was there, you no longer need that, so you can set that aside or throw it away. If you have another project for it in mind, they make really cool, you can do faux stained glass on glass, which is kind of fun. So I'd recommend keeping it if you want to save it for a project. Otherwise, toss it. Then the other thing I have is this fabric. I've got a ping pong ball for the head to go in the ghost fabric. You need a fabric circle. The fabric I chose is kind of glittery. It's like a silver sequin fabric that I used on a different project, which you'll probably see the videos on any of my other channels if you check. And I've just turned the fabric over because it's white on the back, but still kind of sparkly, and I really like that. So that's what I chose for my ghost. But you can use any fabric that you like, glittery, sequiny, any color you want even. Just whatever you decide to do is up to you. So now I'm making the wire, cutting about 4 inches and doubling it up and twisting it over so it's a little bit strong. And then I'm going to tape it to this ping pong ball, and I'm going to use some glue to secure it down better. Now I struggled with this step a little bit, so I recommend gluing it and then taping either side of the wire just so that it stays in place. And then after that, you can move the arms or manipulate them however you want. And then you want to put some hot glue on the top of the ping pong ball, and then you're going to attach it to the circle of the fabric. And I'm going to show you that here in a minute. And I'm just putting it upside down You can see it's very sequiny and silver. I'm going to put some glue on the ping pong ball and stick it right in the center and flip the fabric over and let it dry. By the way, if you're new here to my channel, welcome. I hope that you will find some wonder and some joy in what I'm creating, and I hope that it inspires you to create something of your own and to share that. I like to do these little tutorials and teach people how to be creative and do fun things and decorate their homes and do all that. So if you like my channel, hit that like and subscribe, and I would certainly appreciate that. Anyway, what I'm doing now is I'm grabbing my little pink velvet pumpkin. You can choose any color you want. I think they have like a dark green, they have orange. I think they even have yellow, like around the fall time. These are just some I picked up at the Dollar Tree. I thought they were really cute and would make some fun projects. So I have a pink one. Since my ghost is a glamour ghost, I'm using the pink one. And I just drew a face on it, testing it out for the placement. Don't glue it down yet. Just wait. But now I'm replacing the dried Mod Podge background back into my frame and flipping that over. And what you're going to want to do is not Mod Podge that yet on the surface, because you're going to be adding more things. So this is a butterfly ring that I had. I just cut off the ring part. I don't know, I picked it up from somewhere and it's just been in my stash for a long time, so I decided to use it on this frame to make it a little more glam. And here I'm buffing in some silver paint, just a little bit, brushing it on all over the frame to give it a little more of an antique look. So now I'm E6000 gluing that butterfly onto the frame. And you're going to want to hold that for a few minutes just so that it has time to kind of set up and be tacky, or you can use hot glue on either side. Don't mix it with the E6000 because that doesn't dry so easily if you do that. But if you just kind of hold it there for a few minutes, I've sped up the camera so that you don't have to wait for that. And then I'm just taking this ribbon and measuring the sides a little bit to make sure I kind of got it in the center. That's how I measure. But you can do it with a ruler if you want to. And then this ribbon is a spiderweb ribbon, and I'm going to use it to make a little bow for my ghost. And here's the bow. And I'm going to cut the edges off. Make them a little more ribbon. And I apologize, sometimes I go out of the camera. Trying to not do that so much, but I'm new at this, so I'm working on it. Anyway, I've got a bow here, and I'm going to glue that on. Hot glue is just fine for this. And the ping pong ball is up there inside it with the wire arms so that you can change and manipulate that. There's the bow. And now I'm kind of working the fabric to see how I want it to look, how I want it to sit. And this will change over time. Eventually you're going to add a Mod Podge layer to the fabric to keep it all in place and to kind of secure those folds and harden it up. But right now I'm just sort of playing with the placement, and you can certainly do that too. Also, my friends, as I'm doing these things, I would love to hear what your opinion is on some projects that you would like to see. I love doing fairies and dragons and anything Halloween. I'm not a huge spooky fan, but I can do spooky stuff. Here I'm gluing the ghost down with the E6000 and using some hot glue just to hold it in place, just a little bit. And anyway, any projects that you might want to share with me would be fantastic. And you can leave a comment down below if there's something that you would love to see, and I'll try to come up with that video. And I'm trying to make sure that I put out lots of fun content and videos for you. They do take a long time for me to make, so if it takes me a while, I apologize, but I will keep working on that. So now I'm gluing on some eyes, and I cut the eyes out of a piece of velvet ribbon. And I apologize, I didn't tell you that was something you needed, but you can do this out of felt. You can do the eyes with a Sharpie marker, although I don't recommend the Sharpie marker because the eyes bleed, or the marker bleeds in a little bit, and it may not give you the look you want, but maybe that is what you like. And if so, do it that way. If not, cut it out of velvet ribbon with some little scissors. Now here I've put, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little glowy thing underneath the ghost. Now I put that there just as an experiment to show you something else that you can try and do. It is one of those little glow balls that you can get off Amazon, and I'll include a link. And you pull the little tab out and it goes right up underneath. If you do it this way, you're going to want to leave an open area where you can reach it, because it will eventually run out of battery. If you don't want to do it this way, LED lights are another way to do it. And then you can attach the battery on the back. I do have a project coming up where I show you how to do some LED lights for a ghost family, and I can show you that in a later video. Now here what I've got is some watercolor, and I'm using black and white just to kind of make a gray wash, so that I can add shadow into the folds of this fabric, even though it's very sparkly. I'm just trying to give it a little more shadow, not to grunge it up or make it dirty or weird. Just trying to make it a little more old looking, a little more glamour, and to enhance those shadows. And now I'm replacing the pumpkin to see what's going on, and I'm going to glue it in there. And there you are, glamour ghost for your entertainment. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you on the next project. Welcome back, my friends. I hope we've all had a little rest, a sweet Halloween treat. And we are going to go ahead and get started on our second Summeween project. Here we go. It's all about the ghosts and those cute ghosts in those portraits that you've been seeing online, or the figurines. And I'm going to be doing several projects just about ghosts. And right now, I don't know if you can see behind me, but project number 1 was this little beauty behind me. And she's completed now, but part 2, I've got 3 more frames to do and 1 painting. I'm going to show you how to paint your very own ghost series print with the cute little meadow or whatever. I'm doing a meadow on mine. Okay, welcome back. So project number 2 is, put on a little more light here, this image that I found. It's a beautiful meadow image that have broken, that I maybe haven't worn in years, don't really care about. I also have these little green sprigs, which I am going to add to this to give it more of a meadowy feel. And right now I'm just kind of placing things where I think maybe I want them. I'm gonna leave that off for a minute. I've made my tissue ghost, which it's a tissue, people. Kleenex. You can also make this out of tissue paper. It's entirely up to you. I'm making it 3D by adding a bead inside. I'm going to glue that bead inside because it's a tissue and I don't need a whole lot of specialty glue. I'm just hot gluing it in. And which side of the ghost I like the most. ghosted the most. So I'm just sort of tucking it down, figuring out how I want it in here. And I've got these green sprigs. It looks like maybe I need one more, so I'm going to trim one more. And these, but they can be found at Hobby Lobby. And it's on a garland thing, so look for the So I've sped up this part of the video because it's just me repeating the same motion by kind of putting these items down to see where I would like their placement to be. And this is something I recommend doing if you're not sure how you want it before you glue everything down. And while we're just waiting for this to finish up, if you like my videos, please do all the things like share, subscribe, comment. I would be super grateful for that as I'm trying to grow my audience and make more content. My cute little scene here. And okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I think I'm going to make some sort of hooky things for the hands. And tuck this back down over the cute little ghost. And tore it up just a little bit, so All right, my friends, I now have some tissue that I've cut out into circles and stacked on top of each other to make my ghost on top of a bead. You don't need a real strong glue for this. You can use hot glue or Elmer's glue or whatever. And then I'm using scissors to kind of rough up the bottom because I don't know if it's going to be seen through the greenery or not. And I just kind of want to make it look a little more like it's been wandering for a while, like it's been out as a ghost for quite a while. So now I'm going to open up the back of this frame and I'm going to Mod Podge my image on here. And making sure I'm getting the edges really well. And just press and seal the image on there. And I did crease the edge of this image just a little bit, but it's no big deal. You're not going to see it in the frame once it's in there. And just press it down nicely so it'll stick. If you need to add more glue, go ahead and do so. I'm going to just push that back into the frame so it can dry. And this is another frame that I just had laying around that I didn't have a use for, so sprayed it black and it became my next ghost frame. So this is a ghost that anyone can make. Anyone's got tissues lying around their house, or you can use tissue paper. And this frame was a little bit dirty, so I'm just wiping it off to make it a little cleaner. It's a little dusty. And now I'm going to go ahead and get everything glued down. And I will speed up this part so that you can just watch the process quickly and work on your own project. Okay, so ghost number 2. Actually, it feels pretty dry, so maybe I'll attempt to glue some eyes on there. I'm simply going to use the fabric again. And the reason I'm doing this is because I think that if I try to use the Sharpie, it will bleed into the, it'll bleed onto the napkin. I'm going to do that route. Also, by the way, if you see I'm not putting mouths on my ghosts, you absolutely can put mouths on your ghosts. if that's your vibe. You want them to have mouths, that's totally fine. My ghosties are maybe going to be mouthless for the foreseeable future. I feel like this one has eyelashes, so maybe she's also girly. Okay, and there you have it. Fairy ghost in the meadow. And I think we'll silver up this frame real quick and we'll call it good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I get to put them around my house or give them away as I see fit. Now, no. I'm using my finger this time. You can use a brush. You can use a cloth to do this part. If that hi little ghost, meadow ghost, lots of multimedia material. I really had fun with this one. I hope that you will make something equally as fun and joyful, and just, you know, recycle, reuse, infuse that magic. And we'll see you on the next project. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you do, like, subscribe, follow me, share my video. I'd be super grateful. Thank you. And stay tuned for my next videos coming up. Follow my channel so you don't miss anything. Thanks again for joining me. I'm the Fairy Haven Keeper, and I hope you have a wonderful day.